Hey everyone, this is 5 ways to cleanse your tarot or oracle deck. And first of all, why does a tarot deck, I'm just going to say tarot, I mean tarot, oracle, any deck that you've received. So why would you need to cleanse this deck? And the reason I'm putting this video out is because obviously we've had Yule, we've had Christmas, and a lot of us would have received gifts. I did. I received this deck off my brother, I received a few others. I tend to buy a lot of decks. But you may have brought a new second-hand deck yourself. You may have done a particular draining reading and feel like you need to cleanse or charge a deck. You may feel like they've been exposed to some negativity, you haven't connected to your deck just yet, they've fallen on the floor, or you simply want to reconnect. So there's many different reasons why you want to cleanse your deck. For myself, most times I tend to cleanse my decks whenever I've been gifted them or if I've brought them. Or some of us, in particular, if you find them secondhand, you may want to cleanse them because people have used them before, you don't know what type of energy they've had. So that's just a brief list of reasons of why. So the first and easiest way to cleanse a deck, or to it's kind of cleansing but it's also connecting with the deck, is to pick them up and put them into order. So you would have the major arcana, then the minor suits, and then you'd go into the minor cards. And then you would just take a second to kind of look at the images and just connect with them, and then give them a nice shuffle, and then do a reading on yourself. That's a really simple way of kind of connecting to the cards and binding them to you. With oracle cards, you can't do that because you don't have a major or a minor arcana. So what I tend to do with my oracle cards is normally they'll have a number on the bottom, and I will go from 1 to 2 to so on. And then I'll just take a few minutes just to kind of look at the images of each card, connect with them, see if anything jumps out at me. And then I will shuffle the cards, ask them a question, and do a mini reading for myself. And this helps me to connect to the cards, to kind of influence them with my energies. Another way, a simple way, is you could do that, and then you can also knock on the cards into a candle. Now, I don't like to use flame with cards because obviously a lot of them are paper and it's flammable, but what I tend to do is I have a working candle on my desk for readings, and I light them, and after every reading I do, I will knock 3 times on them, and I visualise the energy dispersing into the flames, getting rid of any negative energy, anything that I've brought up that's been hurtful or maybe not as happy as the client would have liked. I will do that, and then I'll give them a nice little shuffle, and that cleanses them, charges them, and just releases anything they may be holding on from that reading. That's another simple way. Another way is to light some incense and have that incense smoking around, and then taking it individually and passing the card through the incense, or blowing it around each card. Now, when I take the incense out and I use it to go around the cards, I always go counterclockwise, as this releases any negative energy it's holding. If you want to charge or infuse energy into it, go clockwise. Another way of cleansing a desk is, we've done visualization, we've done smudging, we've done shuffling them into a suit, into the suite. You can boil them in salt to cleanse them. Now, I have never buried my deck in salt, but you can, and the way that you do that is to wrap them up into something nice and safe. You can put it in a little plastic baggie, you could put it in a cloth, anything that's going to keep the cards protected. Put them in salt, put it over with, leave it overnight or a day. If I find that I think if it's something that you feel really negative towards, or if you're really unsure of where it's come from, or if you've possibly been gifted it by someone that you don't trust, bury it in salt, leave it, put some herbs on it as well if you want to, like lavender is a really good cleanser, leave it overnight or for a couple of days, and then do the sorting or checking through if it's an oracle deck, just to kind of combine it to your energies. Another way that you can cleanse a deck is to have music playing, and you can get many different types of frequencies on YouTube. You can maybe possibly have your own music, your own chants. If you place it near the deck, music is vibrational, it gives off energy, so it's going to be cleansing it. And what you can do is, if you feel like it's not getting to all your deck when it's in a tower, I can't think of a word, pile, either spread them out onto a fan, or what you can do is just take them out individually and visualize the sound healing them. You can meditate with your deck. Now, this meditation is kind of a visualization, and you would meditate with them by visualizing being in that zone, seeing them being cleansed and healed, and then visualize them being connected to you, white light surrounding them to cleanse them of anything that they don't need. To charge them, a lot of people put them into moon baths as well, which to me cleanses, but the moon energy to me tends to be charging them. So it would, depending on what type of moon that you put it in, it will charge it with that influences of the moon. For instance, we've just had a wolf moon, which is all about contemplation and thinking about where you want to be in the coming months and so on. And the last thing that I want to say to you, how you can, charge and connect to your decks, is use them. If you haven't used them for a while, if you've got a few too many like myself, or if you've picked them up, thought they were lovely, and then not used them for a while, just pick them up, handle them, shuffle them, read with them, and yet they will be cleansed by your energy. They will pick up from you. So my simplest way is to just pass it through some incense, or just visualize them in the white light. You can actually pick them up, close your eyes, take a deep breath, shuffle, and then read. And then once you've done that, you've got that connection. You start using them, and the more you use your decks or your deck, the more easier it will be to read with them. You'll feel that connection to them. And this is a completely different subject, because this is all about cleansing them. So yeah. It's a good idea to cleanse your decks personally if you've been gifted them, or if you've been brought them, or if you've brought them from a second-hand shop. You definitely need to, because you just don't know where they've come from, who's had them, who's handled them. Possibly the postman was in a bad mood. You don't know what they've kind of picked up as they've gone through the process of coming into your hands. I hope this has helped. You can also combine every single one and have a big cleansing of your deck. And one of the ways I do it is, there's a little ritual that I do on a full moon, and I like to get my decks out that have been new, and I like to do a circle of salt and herbs mixtures around my decks, and then I like to burn incense, pass them through each deck one by one. And this can take a little while, especially when you think that oracle decks tend to be about 40-ish cards, and then tarot decks tend to be about 72. So it can take a while, especially if you have more than one deck. I like to pass them through incense, and then once they're all down and they're in their salt circle, I sprinkle the salt around them, leave them, and then they do a little mini chant over them. Then I take them out, look at them one by one, shuffle and read with them. So that's quite a long process, and that's something that I tend to do. I don't do all the time, but I do every now and then with my new decks. the easiest way is to do the music, the visualization, and to pass it through incense smoke. But if you want to take it to the next level, or if you really want a big ritual, you can combine and make it as elaborate as you want. Okay, many blessings, and I hope this has helped. Bye, lovelies.